Fresh off yet another win this weekend at Watkins Glen, 18-year-old Ty Gibbs is the hottest prospect in NASCAR right now. Is he the best thing we've seen since Joey Logano? Sliced bread? How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. I hope your Monday is off to a fantastic start. Last week, I was a little hard on Ty Gibbs. Y'all know me, I'm a big Ty Gibbs fan. I've been on the Ty Gibbs bandwagon since late 2019. But last week in my ARCA video, I focused on the drivers and I focused on Ty Gibbs, how while he's full of talent, everyone can see it, I argued that he needs to mature emotionally soon if he expects to be a top contender in the NASCAR Xfinity Series next year or the Cup Series in the near future. He's only 18 years old, yes, but he's being put on the national stage, so unfortunately for him, we can't hold him to the same standard we'd hold most 18-year-olds to. And I cited a few instances from this season, including recently in the ARCA race at Winchester when he basically spun out Corey Heim for the win, where I thought Ty Gibbs was crossing the line a little bit, that he needed to set some boundaries, some standards for himself. What is acceptable, clean, fair racing, and what is too aggressive, is over-aggressive. That's what I talked about last week, but I did say in that video that Ty Gibbs' talent is undeniable, and that undeniable talent was once again on full display this past weekend at Watkins Glen. He finished third in the ARCA race, a very stacked field for an ARCA race these days. He actually got beat by Corey Heim in that race and Austin Hill from the Camping World Truck Series, but he ran a very solid race. He backed that up though with a flawless, perhaps the best single performance I have seen from Ty Gibbs Saturday in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, where Ty Gibbs collected his third Xfinity Series trophy of his young career. And what stood out to me the most on Saturday was the incredible maturity, the impressive patience Ty Gibbs showed. He obviously had a really fast car. You can argue that 54 car is the best car in the field. It's won the most races this year with Kyle Busch, with Ty Gibbs, and even one with Christopher Bell. But it still takes a good driver to work that thing through the field and keep the car clean for an entire race. And, early on in this Watkins Glen race, Ty Gibbs was battling with AJ Allmendinger for the lead. The two of them have a little bit of a history. Remember, Ty Gibbs called Allmendinger's move late in the Mid-Ohio race dirty. So a little bit of a history there. They ran side by side through the S's, but Ty Gibbs, I thought, very mature early in the race, backed out of what was kind of a sticky situation, didn't want to risk wrecking early for no reason. I was very impressed with the patience Ty Gibbs showed right there. And then later on in the race, Ty Gibbs actually lost the lead on back-to-back restarts, once to Austin Cindric and once to AJ Allmendinger, but in both instances, within a lap or two, Gibbs was able to methodically work his way back around them and retake the lead. He ultimately went on to win the race, of course. He gave a little tap at one point to Austin Cindric, but Austin Cindric then threw a pretty aggressive block on him, so I thought Ty Gibbs handled that situation well. He didn't run through anybody, he did not wreck anybody, he did not race anyone overly aggressively. He raced two of the best road course racers in NASCAR today incredibly fairly. He beat them straight up on multiple occasions. It was incredibly impressive. Not only was his skill, his talent, his undeniable skill on full display, but he matured emotionally a ton, really. It felt like from one week to the next, from 1 month to the next. It was only a couple of months ago at Mid-Ohio that he was upset with AJ Allmendinger taking him 3 wide on a restart, calling it dirty. But I was really excited to see that those emotions did not carry over to Watkins Glen. He beat those guys straight up, including AJ Allmendinger. So Ty Gibbs wins his third Xfinity Series race in just 10 career starts, his second road course win of the season. Throw Charlotte in there for good measure. He's been on a tear, really, in anything he's driven this season. 7 ARCA wins in 13 starts. So this begs the question. We know Ty Gibbs has an immense level of talent. He's shown some solid emotional maturity recently. He's still young. I'm sure he's still going to make some over-aggressive mistakes in the coming months and maybe the coming years, but we've seen glimpses of very good positive things out of him, so this begs the question. Ty Gibbs is obviously the top teenage prospect in NASCAR right now. I think that's undeniable. You can throw Sam Mayer out there, who's won back-to-back ARCA East championships. That's a big deal. Corey Heim's running well in ARCA this year, but I gotta see more from him. You can throw some other names out there, but I think right now it's obvious Ty Gibbs is the #1 prospect. He's at the tip of everyone's tongue, at the front of everyone's mind. But is Ty Gibbs the best prospect we've seen since Joey Logano? Joey Logano was a phenom in the mid to late 2000s, rising through the ranks. He made his NASCAR Cup Series debut in 2008 at just 18 years old. He won an ARCA East, then K&N East championship at 17 years old. He won his first NASCAR Cup Series race at just 19 years old at Loudon. Joey Logano was like NBA players back in the day who would be drafted first overall out of high school, like LeBron James. That's the kind of can't miss obvious talent Joey Logano was and still is today. His first few years in Cup with JGR were not great, kind of iffy, but once he got to Penske, Logano has emerged as a Cup Series champion, a perennial contender. So Joey Logano was a can't miss talent and has obviously evolved into, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a future Hall of Famer. If we try to stack Ty Gibbs up against Joey Logano, I think there are a lot of similarities. There are a lot of statistical similarities. I was looking up stats for this video and I thought it was interesting. Joey Logano only ever ran 4 ARCA races, like main ARCA. Ty Gibbs is running full-time ARCA this year and he already has 7 wins. He's run some races the last couple of years in ARCA as a teenager. He's won races there as well. An ARCA today is not as competitive as it would have been back in Joey Logano's day, but Logano won 2 ARCA races in 4 starts, so that's a pretty great winning percentage. Logano won the K&N East Series Championship in 2007. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs last year actually didn't win the K&N East, or now ARCA East Championship. He actually lost by a slim margin to Sam Mayer. Joey Logano won his first NASCAR Xfinity Series race in just his 3rd start. Now, Ty Gibbs actually has him beat here. He won in his first start, but Joey Logano has Ty Gibbs beat by a couple of months. Logano is still on record as the youngest NASCAR Xfinity Series winner in series history at 18 years, 21 days. So he's still got Ty Gibbs beat by a few months in that category, but there are a lot of similarities between the two. I think Ty Gibbs, a lot of people discredit him because his last name is Gibbs and he's in good equipment. He's gotten good opportunities because he's Joe Gibbs' grandson, but Ty Gibbs, the talent is undeniable, same as Logano. So instead, I'll look at the last 14 years or so and see if there are any other prospects since Joey Logano that had the same kind of hype, were the same kind of obvious future stars that Ty Gibbs are. Have there been any of those guys? Immediately we think of, Kyle Larson coming up in the early 2010s. We know Kyle Larson is phenomenal, has always been phenomenal on dirt, maybe the best sprint car driver on planet Earth at the moment. But he was a little bit older when he started to get into NASCAR. He was 19 years old when he ran for the K&N East Championship in 2012. He actually won the K&N East Championship that year, winning twice in the process. He was 20 years old when he won his first NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race. It was in just his 5th start. So while Kyle Larson was clearly talented early on, and I think maybe his Cup career was slightly derailed by the average race cars at Chip Ganassi, above average race cars, but not top equipment at Chip Ganassi. As exciting as Kyle Larson was in his early years, he was doing everything a couple years later than Ty Gibbs was. Again, Larson was 19, 20, 21. Ty Gibbs has been 16, 17. He's now 18 years old and maybe the best driver in the Xfinity Series. I'm not going to make that claim just yet, but the point is it's arguable between Kyle Larson and Ty Gibbs. Who was the more clear can't-miss prospect? Early in Kyle Larson's career, there were some questions. Will his dirt skills translate into a successful NASCAR career? Most everyone assumed they would, and his early successes in K&N, in trucks, seem to prove that yes, he has the talent to be a great NASCAR driver, but we really never saw the best of Kyle Larson until this year, until 2021, when he's now driving for a championship caliber Cup Series team and he looks like a championship caliber driver. So it's hard to say that Larson was a better prospect than Ty Gibbs, but it's arguable. Let's fast forward a few more years to Chase Elliott, the defending Cup Series champion in the mid-2010s. Chase Elliott was exciting, y'all, and one thing about Chase Elliott, one advantage I'll say I think he had or has had over Ty Gibbs when it comes to them being a prospect, Chase Elliott was the complete package. Not only was he clearly very talented, and I think it's arguable whether or not he looked more or less talented than Ty Gibbs does today, but I think Chase Elliott early on showed an emotional maturity, a stoicness. He didn't seem to be easily rattled. We still see that today. Chase Elliott, he's kind of dry. He's honestly kind of boring, but he's focused. He doesn't let things distract him the way other drivers might. He was the best of both worlds because he had great talent and he was clearly very focused. But I will say early on, some of Chase Elliott's stats, and again, I think you can argue the K&N East and West Series were more competitive in Chase Elliott's era than they are in Ty Gibbs' era. Same goes for ARCA. But Chase Elliott, in just 12 ARCA starts, only has 1 win. He ran full-time K&N East in 2012 and 2013. He was really young, 15 and 16 years old, but he only won once across both of those seasons. Chase Elliott had 2 wins in his first 7 NASCAR Xfinity Series starts. Of course, he was the champion in 2014. That was also his first full-time season, his first season period in the Xfinity Series. And he was just 18 years old when he won an Xfinity Series championship. Ty Gibbs this year is 18 years old and he's not even running full-time Xfinity. So I think you could argue Chase Elliott was a better prospect in his time than Ty Gibbs is here today. Also, Chase Elliott had the name behind him. He's always had the marketability. He's the son of I mean, on paper at least, the most popular driver in NASCAR history, Bill Elliott. I think that's always worked in Chase Elliott's favor. So I think if we're gonna look at the last 14, 15 years, basically since Joey Logano arrived on the scene in the mid-late 2000s, when we're talking about the hype and the future prospects of Ty Gibbs, I think he ranks just behind Joey Logano. I think he ranks, honestly, a little ahead of Kyle Larson, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that he is a Gibbs, and that he will more than likely always have a seat at Joe Gibbs Racing, which, at least for the last, I don't know, decade, let's say, almost, maybe more than that. I mean, for many years now, Joe Gibbs Racing has been one of the top organizations in NASCAR, Cup, Xfinity, wherever. I think I'll put Ty Gibbs just ahead of Kyle Larson because he's right now getting into NASCAR even a couple years younger than Kyle Larson was when he was in these ranks. So if I had to rank the top prospects of the last 15 years, I think I'd put Joey Logano at number 1. I think Joey Logano was a phenom back in his time. That was at a time where there weren't a whole lot of teenagers breaking onto the national stage, the national scene, the way we see today. So Joey Logano, what he did in the late 2000s was special. Again, his Cup Series tenure got off to kind of a slow start, even though he did win at just 19 years old, technically. But Joey Logano, I think, has to be at the top. When we think big name NASCAR prospects, teenage phenoms, Joey Logano comes up first. I think in second place, and this is a real tough one, I think it's a toss-up between Chase Elliott and Ty Gibbs. It's easy to say Chase Elliott because now here we are 5 years into his Cup Series career and he's already a Cup Series champion. So it is easy to say Chase Elliott, and he did win an Xfinity Series championship at just 18 years old. But the point system is different, and Ty Gibbs, while he's not running full-time Xfinity this year, I fully believe, based on how he's run this season, 8 top 5s and 10 starts, if he was running full-time Xfinity this year, I think Ty Gibbs would be the championship favorite. So can I hold the fact that he's only part-time this year against him? A little bit, I guess. He already has the same amount of wins this year in Xfinity that Chase Elliott had his first full-time season in Xfinity, in many more starts. So do I give that to Ty Gibbs? It's tough. I hate to be a fence sitter, but I think it's a tie. Chase Elliott and Ty Gibbs as prospects, I think, are very, very equal. Again, remember, I'm comparing current Ty Gibbs to the Chase Elliott of 2014-15, that era. And I think just behind those guys, I'll put Kyle Larson. Just because, again, he was a couple years older. He did win that K&N East Championship in 2012, which was very impressive. He showed signs early on that he had future NASCAR star potential. But unlike Gibbs, unlike Chase Elliott, he was not in the same kind of pipeline to go through Xfinity trucks and get into the Cup Series with a championship organization. So I'll put Kyle Larson, I guess, third behind the tie of Elliott and Gibbs. And I know some of y'all are going to mention it, so I'll throw him in there because I think he deserves to be mentioned. I'll throw William Byron in there as well. I mean, he only has 2 Cup Series wins in his first almost 4 seasons now, but William Byron really stole the show when he burst onto the scene a few years ago. His first season in trucks, he won 7 times at 18 years old. I know that's trucks, not Xfinity, but 7 wins in one season at 18 years old. Should have won the championship. Bad breaks at the end of the season. That's notable. He went into Xfinity the next season and backed that up with 4 more wins at 19 years old, and there he did win the Xfinity Series championship. And then, of course, he's gotten into the Cup Series, and it's been kind of slow going, but he was really, really young when he got into the NASCAR Cup Series, and he's obviously shown great improvement. He's been very consistent this season. I think he's a dark horse championship threat this year, which is year 4 for him. I'll slot him in there right behind Larson. I mean, they're all right on top of each other because William Byron also won 4 times in the K&N East Series before he got to trucks. William Byron was absolutely a stud. He didn't have quite the same, the wow, the pizzazz, the excitement that, Ty Gibbs has had, or Kyle Larson especially had. Those guys, when they were kids, I mean, Ty Gibbs is still a kid. This is kind of weird. I'm speaking both in present and past tense. Ty Gibbs now as a kid, Kyle Larson in his late teens, early 20s, they were exciting. The Kyle and Kyle show. I remember Larson as a rookie battling hard with Kyle Busch at, I think, Auto Club Speedway. That was a thriller. William Byron, I feel like, has not had quite that same excitement behind him for whatever reason. Again, he's won a lot in trucks. He won in Xfinity right away, but I guess he just moved up to Cup so quickly. It's like we didn't even get a chance to breathe and talk about where did he come from other than, his career started on a computer. So this top 5 here, very, very tight, very, very close. The point of this video is not only to talk about some of these other great young prospects growing up and kind of remember what we were thinking about Chase Elliott 7 years ago, or William Byron 5 years ago, or Joey Logano 15 years ago, but it's to compare those thoughts, those mindsets, to how we talk about Ty Gibbs today. Because again, it's easy to look at Ty Gibbs and say he's in a JGR car, he's the grandson of Joe Gibbs, he's got the best equipment, none of this is really impressive. But he's 18 years old, and he's already got 3 Xfinity Series wins this season. He beat AJ Allmendinger Austin Cindric straight up at Watkins Glen this weekend. I know he has a really good car, don't get me wrong, but so do those guys. And they have years of experience, years of success, years of trophies that Ty Gibbs does not have, yet Ty Gibbs has prevailed now twice on road courses this season in the second biggest, second most prestigious stock car racing league in the world. We still don't know for sure what Ty Gibbs will do next season. I hope he is full-time in Xfinity. No matter what his immediate next steps are, Ty Gibbs has Cup Series racing in his not so distant future. They didn't say how long Martin Truex Jr.'s extension was for when he signed a new one just a few months ago. It sounded like maybe it was just a one-year deal. So I don't know, we'll see. 2023. Ty Gibbs to the 19. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, I felt like last week I was kind of hard on Ty Gibbs. I'm a big Ty Gibbs fan. I've never denied his talent, but I was very impressed this weekend at Watkins Glen by his patience and maturity he showed when battling guys like AJ Allmendinger. Really impressed me. So I just want to make this video and talk about it because Ty Gibbs is the most exciting thing coming up through the NASCAR ranks right now. So I think it's never too early to take notice of him. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Share your thoughts down below. How do you feel about Ty Gibbs's present results and how do you feel about his possible future plans? Do you want to see Ty Gibbs in Xfinity full-time next year? Should he skip Xfinity altogether and go Cup racing before long? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR day in and day out here at Out of the Groove. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters as well. I couldn't do this show without your tremendous support. Much more to talk about this week, but I just wanted to get this off my chest. I've been waiting since Saturday to talk about it, so appreciate you guys listening and watching. I will see you all in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, y'all.